There was a little interaction with Will and I online. About a year prior, there was a clip of me hitting the standing Spanish fly from a match in Newcastle Pro. I think it was part of like a tag team tournament, which was funnily enough against Unsocial Jordan and Instagram, who a lot of people would know now as Kyle Fletcher from Aussie Open. I don't think that's a secret anymore. So it was myself and Matt Diamond against those two. This clip went a little viral. And I actually said to Newcastle Pro, because 2016, we still weren't quite hitting the internet in the right way from Australian wrestling standards. I don't think anyway. And I kind of said we should start putting up just like little highlights or little 5-second clips or 10-second clips of things that like got really good reactions from the shows. And that was one of them. And that video blew up. And I remember seeing on, I think it was Facebook, like you could see who shared it.
Yeah.
And then I saw this William fellow shared it. And then I was reading the kind of thread of comments. And it basically was people telling Will that I was this person from Backyard Wrestling that he used to watch because Will used to be a backyard wrestler. And he kind of watched our backyard wrestling, and that was his inspiration for it at the time. So it's like a really meta kind of like, I guess, meeting or understanding of who each other was in 2016, because he was really starting to be a guy at that point. He was about a year into his New Japan run. So then it kind of came that opportunity that he was coming to Australia and New Zealand, and it was offered to PWA to have him for a match. And I pretty much just went, look, I'm very unselfish here. I'm always about making sure that everyone gets the first opportunity, the best opportunity, whatever it is. But I need to have this match. And it really was the catalyst. I don't think for just PWA, but that whole weekend where he came to PWA, wrestled me on the Friday night, and then Saturday night he wrestled Adam Brooks for MCW. Those two matches were the catalyst for Australian wrestling to really grow into what it is right now across the board. You can't deny it, because Will was such a spokesperson for the scene that we had, because I was there. He would watch the show from the start, and then he would go out there and have the matches that he would have with myself and with Adam. And then afterwards, he would just make sure that he'd go out of his way to talk on the microphone. And you knew that promo was going to get out to the masses of Will, not only winning championships, but also talking and explaining how passionate he was. And those were his first 2 days in Australia. So he didn't owe us shit. Like, he didn't have to do that. But he trained with us at the Pro Wrestling Academy the night before on the Thursday and was super impressed with everyone. And then on the Friday, we just had a banger of a show. So he was like, this is fucking great. And those words that he said, he meant, and he really put eyes on us. There was people that would come in before that with international tours and stuff that did help us, but I don't think to the same level of what Will was doing back then. He was really screaming, hey, everyone, look at what Australia's doing, because you're going to fucking miss out. And that kind of changed everything and put more eyes on, not only us, not only MCW, but places like Wrestle Rampage, like EPW in Perth, RCW in Adelaide as well. Across the board, you got to understand. And if you look at the audience too, you can see that it's not just people with Batista shirts or Mick Foley shirts or Stone Cold Steve Austin shirts. You're starting to see someone that might come to an indie wrestling show in Australia for the first time with, like, I don't know, an LIJ shirt, or they might be wearing, a Jay White t-shirt. And that means that there was already those fans out there. We all knew that, but they weren't invested or willing to come to the local scene. And it wasn't until someone of Ospreay's caliber, especially at that time, just started saying, hey, you got to come now. You got to be a part of it, or you're going to miss out, and you're going to feel like you're jumping on the bandwagon late. And luckily, we've reaped the rewards of those 2 nights.